Boom. All right. Welcome, everybody, to our weekly Sunday family time call. We are so fired up. Just to get started, my name is Orlando, and this is
Kylie,
a.k.a. Kylando, out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Currently active world team in cuts of get. Last month left. We're fired up. It's already done. We already know that. So we're preparing ourselves for growth right now as we speak. So just a little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Orlando. I've been in Herbalife for 3 years now, or I should say. And basically, so the story about my Herbalife journey is before Herbalife, I was an ex-college athlete. I was on the struggling to gain weight, gain lean muscle aspect, self-conscious with my body as well. At 145 pounds soaking wet, looking to gain lean muscle, nothing was happening. I was actually working out 3 times a day in college, ex-college athlete. And I was able to find Herbalife through Stephen Crawford, a.k.a. my cousin. And I was able to go ahead and get on all the Herbalife products, the 24 line, and gain 30 pounds of lean muscle, 37 currently, and then also was able to drop my body fat from 30% down to 15. Feel amazing, feel incredible. Hey, I'm reaching the dirty 30, just so you guys know. I'm going to be 30 this month. It's my birthday month. It's my birthday. And I'm fired up because before Herbalife, if I was like not in Herbalife right now, and I'd be like hitting 30, I'd feel old. I feel absolutely amazing. This business, Herbalife in general, has changed my life, especially reaching the global expansion team level, the pin that we've been waiting for. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to let Kylie, my better half, tell her Herbalife journey. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, my name's Kylie. So like he said, 3 years ago, we started Herbalife. I basically started by default. I was just coming out of college. Didn't realize how much weight I had gained, although it made sense because I ate whatever I wanted, drank all the time, super low energy. It all makes sense looking back, but I knew nothing about nutrition. So I ended up starting my full plan, ended up losing 15 pounds.
Hey.
Now 3 years in, I'm down a total of 20 pounds, so many pant sizes.
How many?
Well, like, well, from a size 10 to size 2.
There it is.
I don't really know pant size, so I just say it that way. It's easier. And so that's been super awesome for me. Obviously, everyone on this call knows about the opportunity that we took advantage of after going to our first event called Extravaganza.
Hey.
It was in Chicago. We're super excited about going back to St. Louis again. But that's when we saw the vision of what was possible. So now 3 years later, with us doing that, I was actually able to quit my job back in August. I worked in child protection. So I was at a super stressful job, even though that's what I went to school for. I enjoyed it, but it was super awesome and thankful to have Herbalife as the opportunity to step out of that. So,
all right, so what we're going to do before we get completely started and before we edify my favorite, in quotes, guest speaker is, yep, there he is right there. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I know everybody had an exciting previous week, or even an event that they possibly went to, or, you know, they either lost some weight, gained some lean muscle, lost some body fat. So let's do some shares, some positive shares. Somebody can unmute themselves and just give us a positive share that happened for them.
Okay, I go first. Jay Irwin here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Just want to say I got a new client, you know, last week. Not last week, it was like 2 days ago. He came out today for Fit Camp, so that's a good thing, you know. He liked it, he enjoyed it, and that's it.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Jay. Flex, next.
Yo, I'll go. Sam here from Green Bay. I just want to say I'm fired up because I am down 33 pounds this year.
Hey.
Total of 63 altogether. On a roll here. Look out.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. That's crazy.
I'll go. Hey, everybody. It's Alyssa Fields out here in Green Bay with Kylando. Currently supervisor. I'm super fired up because we had Neon Zumba this past Saturday, and it was lit, literally lit, neon. So many people had fun, so much energy. We're about to start a local challenge out of the nutrition club, so I'm super fired up to get that popping and get all these people these summer results. And then I'm also fired up because LDW is coming up, Extravaganza's coming up. I got this guy, he fires me up. So yeah, lots to be grateful for.
Awesome. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you. Keep them firing. Ooh, we got some dead silence. Ain't nobody else got anything exciting to share? Any positives?
I'll go.
There it is.
Hi, my name is Kylie. I'm in Ainsworth, Nebraska, currently world team. Recently, over the last 3 weeks, started fit camps and went from 3 to 41. And it's just been an incredible experience. Through that, have been able to help 6 clients just in this past week get started, whether it was just getting some tea and aloe in them, boosting their energy, or actually starting on a full plan. So it's been an amazing experience and super grateful for what's ahead.
Awesome. Thanks, Biddy. Appreciate that. Anyone else? LDW shares, anything about the upcoming LDW? Excited? You guys have anything to share about what you're excited for the LDW if you do not have that event yet or did not? 3, 2, 1. Boop. All right. So we about to move on. So before we move on, Jay, I appreciate your share about your new client. That fires us up because now I need a new client. Sam down 33 pounds. Let's get it, brother. Nice. I love that. Alyssa, Neon Zumba definitely went down. And also LDW, we're fired up. Our hotels are booked. It's going down. Extravaganza, we got at least 10 people coming to that. And then obviously, Alyssa, we always get fired up seeing Anthony at the club. So thank you for bringing him all the time. What's up, buddy? And then also, last but not least, our homegirl, Biddy. Fit camps from 3 to 41. That is disgusting. Disgusting. That fires us up. Every time you post that picture, we appreciate that. And then also, lastly, the 6 clients just this week to get started. That's amazing because we're always striving for 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7. And we're only, what's the date? It's the 9th. 5 to 7 usually is about the end of the week, and you're about to smash that probably tonight. I heard about that order that we were talking about earlier, so we'll see. But after that, so thank you guys for giving those shares. That's amazing. Do we have any shares that we want to talk about real quick? You got one?
Well, I was going to say that we got 7 new clients, and we went on our first bike ride in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yes. It was 70 degrees today. So we're planning on starting a bike club.
Oh, yes.
So that's going to be super cool to do it out of our club.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. So Limitless Bike Club is about to go down. So that's our highlight for just today. We got a bunch, but what we really want to do now is go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. Most of you do know him, but I'm going to go ahead and do some edification right now because a lot of you, hopefully by now, 3 years into the business, may know that Stephen Crawford is my cousin, and we go. Let's just say we go way back, like what's that term? Like 2 flats on a Cadillac. Okay, 4 flats. Oh, we go 4 flats on a Cadillac. And now, when I say way back, I mean at grandma's house, scrumbling up change to get Little Caesars pizza. I'm talking about eating toaster strudels together. If y'all even know what those is, those little square things you drizzle some drizzle on there, some icing from biscuits, making sure we got syrup and just drizzling syrup on the biscuits. And guess what? That whole time we ain't gained not 1 pound. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. So that was before Herbalife. And I'm talking, I didn't even know what gains was back then, to be honest. So I was probably gaining cholesterol, if that makes any sense. But amazing mentor. It's just crazy to know that like my mentor would be somebody within my family as far as like growing a personal business. I would have never thought that before Herbalife. So it's just cool to kind of watch him grow as we're growing and like being able to do this like as a family and like basically reconnect family members, because I'm sure for those of you that are here now or the people that have been in veterans are starting to notice that like you start to rekindle flames for family members and things like that. So it's just crazy. And then I can't edify him without Kylie, because Kylie does have some things before we completely introduce the guest speaker.
Yeah, so we're super excited to bring Steven back, technically, to the calls. So we're super excited for that. And what was cool for me is I had never met Steven until like a year, honestly, into the business. And I wanted nothing to do with the business. He was texting or calling Orlando, like, oh, you guys need to get to an event. I'm like, what is that? Like, I'm taking the products. Like, he would be on the family time call way across the room. I'd make him put headphones in because I was watching Scandal on TV. I wanted nothing to do with the business. So it's so funny now, 3 years in, now me being the full-time one and fully taking advantage of this opportunity. So we're super thankful for you, Steven.
Absolutely.
We're hitting first cut mail this month.
Hey.
Declared that. So we're super excited to have you be the speaker.
Yes. So without farther ado, just so you guys know, get out your pen and pads because he's about to drop some nuggets. He over there looking real casual like he ain't, but he's about to drop some nuggets. So let's, without further ado, Steven Crawford, let's get him, cuzzo.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm always looking casual, man. I'm just about to tell y'all a story. And what's funny too, I'm always working. People know me for like always being an actor. I literally have somebody about to walk in my house right now for a wellness evaluation. So she's gonna sit down and be able to hear this story as well. Then we're gonna get off the call and give me a second new client this weekend. So no problem. But my name is Steven Crawford, for those of you who may not know who I am. And the intention today is to really share with you all my journey from member to even before I was a member up through global expansion team. And the reason why I want to do that is a lot of people see me now. They see who I am now, and this is all they know of me. They may think that I've been, in shape my entire life. They may think I've been in the gym my entire life, and they may think I'm, quote unquote, swole my entire life. But kind of like Orlando was saying, this was not our life before. So what I'm going to do, my intention is to take you through the journey of before I was in Herbalife, and once I decided to join it, what happened, and then what I had to do to actually further that. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, I am actually from Southeast Wisconsin. I just live in California now. And before Herbalife, I actually graduated college, and I went to go play professional basketball after college in Iceland. And my entire life, guys, I used to get picked on all the time. Like, I used to get stuff stolen from me when I was in high school. I was a kid that threw snowballs at because I was skinny, and I looked like a child my whole life. I haven't been able to grow facial hair. So I just always was the easy target for people to pick on. So even, through college, it was kind of like the same way. I just happened to be the star of the basketball team, so people left me alone. But I ended up going to play professional basketball in Iceland. And Iceland isn't really bad. It's not bad weather. They just happen to have a really bad winter. So I spent most of my days in Iceland in my room, like snowed in. I could only kind of find my way to the gym for 2 hours, hit basketball practice, and then I was in my room for 20 some odd hours out of the day. So for me, at that point, and why I started to work out. The reason why I started to actually lift weights and work out was because I went to this club in Iceland. They don't have age limit. You guys hear me? I'm good.
You're just lagging a little bit. Start talking again. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still lagging just a tiny bit.
Okay. Might be good now.
Yeah.
All right, I have to switch to the 5G because
that's what I'm talking about.
The regular was trying to hold me down. Can't hold me down. All right. So what I was saying was the reason why I actually started to get enthused with working out. I was in Iceland, and they don't have age limits in their clubs. And I was in there, and I ain't gonna lie, I was trying to talk to this girl. And she looked at me, and she laughed. And she was like, little boy, if you don't like, they speak English. So she was like a little boy and said something else. And I was like, oh, snap. And you know, come to find out, I was actually older than her, but I just looked like a child because I was really skinny and I didn't have any facial hair. So I looked like a kid. And then what tripped me out was these little girls was trying to talk to me. And I'm like, there's like 16 years old. So I'm like, I'm being attracted to like these kids. But, you know, I'm not even being attracted to people who are my own age. So for me, I had all this time. So I started to study personal training. And I was like, I got to get swole or something, you know, just to kind of fit in and have people accept me for who I was. So that's what made me start working out. And I got addicted. So when I came home from playing basketball, I started studying personal training. I took my certification to become a personal trainer. But if you know anything about Wisconsin, people don't really – it's not big. It's not – the fitness market is not big. And I'm going to tell you guys what made me move to California. I had 2 jobs. I was working at Target 45 hours out of the weekend. I was working at the gym. And I remember it being Thanksgiving. And I just came back from a vacation in California for the first time. I was visiting one of my roommates, and I really fell in love with it. And I was laying in my basement. It was Thanksgiving. And we all know Thanksgiving is a time for family. And it was my first year at Target, and they made me work Black Friday. So if you know anything about Black Friday, it starts at like midnight. So I had to be in the bed early, and I remember laying in the bed listening to my parents, and I would listen to my mom, listen to my grandma, listen to my family upstairs playing games, and I had to lay on the couch, so I couldn't be a part of it. And I was supposed to be asleep, but I remember saying to myself, like, it got to be something more for me. I'm 25 years old. This can't be it. This can't be what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And I honestly called my friend the next day after work and was like, yo, I'm moving to California. And he was like, he had just broken up with his girlfriend. He was like, I don't have any ties. He's like, let's do it. So literally from November to January, we planned to move to California. We saved money. We Googled low-income housing in Southern California, packed up our stuff. And in April, the beginning of April, or was really the end of March because it took us 2 days to drive. But the end of March, which, you know, now marks 4 years, we packed up the car and drove 32 hours across the country. Didn't know but one person in California, but we knew that we needed to go somewhere to have a better chance at life. So then I ended up in San Bernardino, California. Had no idea where I was. I was on the worst. If you know anything about San Bernardino, is one of the worst counties in California. And I ended up on one of the worst streets in the worst county in California. So for me, the first month was the hardest month of my life. First time having rent, first time having all of these bills and things due on my own, virtually with, you know, me and my roommate. And I was really having the hardest time. My job was supposed to transfer me. Target was supposed to transfer me. They ended up making me a sales associate. So I went from working 45 hours to working 12 hours a week. I was having to do odds and ends jobs like moving companies. And, you know, I even tried to work at the gym out here, but they were like just killing my pockets and making me drive 45 minutes to work. So it just wasn't nothing making sense. And I remember looking at, you know, me and Rob were sitting in the living room. We were like, you know, man, maybe we just jumped the gun. Maybe, you know, we just made a bad decision. And we were talking about moving back home until we just maybe had a better situation to come out and start. And he was like, man, look, we got degrees. We should be able to get a job. So we're like, okay, let's give this one more shot. So we're like, we're going to go fix our resumes and we're going to try to get regular jobs. Because we moved to California to open our own gym, be personal trainers, the dream, right, as a fitness enthusiast. And what ended up happening was we were in the library, computers weren't working. I was like, yo, this is a sign I need to go home. So I was on the phone with my mom and trying to figure out how I could put together, you know, gas money so I can drive back home. And my sponsor, Super Mario was, you know, eventually would be my sponsor. He walked in the library. He has a health coach tank top on. I looked, I'm like, I'm about to swerve him because I had started to see it on Instagram. Instagram like just came out. And everybody on there was posting about either Herbalife or all the other companies that were that are dead now, but they was popping back then. But they were posting about all that stuff. And I remember somebody approached me about being a health coach. So I remember, like, I was like, Rob, I'm about to go. Like, this dude's about to come talk to us about this Herbalife stuff, and I'm not trying to hear it. And he ended up stopping Rob and was like, man, why y'all so big? And we're like, what are you talking about? He's like, what sport you play? And I was like, I used to play basketball. And Rob said he used to play football. And he was like, man, why y'all so big? I knew I wasn't big, y'all. Y'all see my before pictures. I wasn't big. you know, it was his icebreaker though. It was his way of having a conversation. So he stopped us and asked us if we ever thought about doing Herbalife. At that point in time, I turned my ears off. And Rob was listening though. And Rob was like, I need to lose weight, you know, and, you know, I would like to lose like 20 pounds. And what we did was, thank God for Rob being the investigative researcher. He was looking up Super on Instagram. And he was like, yo, they really were in Paris and they really were doing this. And we started messaging Super. And he was like, yeah, I really do make, you know, for me, very, very attractive, $5,000 a month. I was like, that was a very, very attractive to me. And you know what I said? I said, man, if he can do it, I know I can do it. Because I know probably way more than he do. And that was like the honest thing that I said to Rob. I was like, man, this is what I do. And but guess what my problem was? I didn't have any money. And I know people say they don't have money, but I literally didn't have any money. And had I not got approved to be on food stamps, I wouldn't have had money to eat. So I was living on assistance when I was out here. And had I not gotten approved for those food stamps every month, I don't even know how long I would have lasted out here. You know, I was barely having enough money to pay rent, my portion of the rent at that. So I remember going home and talking to Rob, and we were like, we really wanted to see if this was something that we could do, and we didn't have any money. And this is how the world and the universe works, and this is how I know I'm supposed to be here. I remember him getting a phone call from his now ex-girlfriend, and she was like, do you guys check your because we have Educators Credit Unions, a credit union in Wisconsin, and they give you cash back once a year, I think it is, for how much money you spend throughout the year. And I remember how much money I got back. I got $69 back. Now, mind you, the Herbalife membership is like $68. And I had just learned about this. And I was like, this could be some bit of a coincidence. I said, ain't no way I just didn't know this money was coming. And I got $69 and like 75 cents or something back that I didn't know was coming. So me and Rob talked. I was like, I'm going to sign up as a distributor. He was going to sign up as and order his products. He signed up, ordered his products, lost 30 pounds his first month. Now, what I did, though, was his first week, though, Super was on my head. I signed up. I did 0 volume points my first week. Why? How was I going to do volume point? I didn't have a result yet, and neither did Rob. So Rob ended up losing 10 pounds. And when I tell y'all, I went on a social media rampage after my first week. Like, I was posting his results like crazy. I was calling everybody. I got like 30 or 40 no's in my first month. You know, I didn't care, though, because I literally watched him lose 10 pounds in front of my face. And it was the most mind-blowing thing to me. I was like, yo, this stuff really works. And I was sharing with everybody. I didn't care who told me no. I didn't let one no get me down. I had people talking, oh, you're doing that Herbalife stuff and, you know, all the negativity, but I was not paying attention to any of that. I was like, yo, I don't care what they say. This stuff, I'm watching this stuff work. I'm watching it, you know, the transformation happen. So I remember my first month, I declared to do 1,500 volume points. And this is why you got to have good people to challenge you. So I declared to do 1,500 volume points my first month. I thought it was a reasonable goal to have, being a brand new member. And my sponsors said, commented, because I put this on Facebook, by the way. Y'all, I was posting on Facebook so much when I first started. And that's why the people who saw me and was contacting me. But I said, I'm going to do 1,500 volume points. 2 people commented, and like 3 liked it. The first comment, Super Mario. He said, supervisor. That's it. Then Garen Jones, I was starstruck at the time because I was like, oh my God, Garen Jones is commenting on my status. And what'd he say? Supervisor. I'm like, yo, so y'all not even going to be happy that I made a declaration? Y'all just going to just knock my declaration out of the way? And I was like, you know what? They're challenging me to do this. So I literally had a week left. I had 1,500 volume points. I hit my goal, and I had a week left, right? Yeah, and it was also 5,000 volume points back then to do supervisor as well for those who are in the 4,000 way. Now it was 5,000 volume points. So I'm looking, I'm like, yo, I got to do 4,000 volume points pretty much in a week. But you know what? I never told myself I couldn't do it because I asked Super. I said, how long did it take you to get supervisor? He said 6 weeks. I was like, bet, I'm going to beat you. And I hit supervisor in 3.5 weeks. My first 3.5 weeks of the business. 5,100 volume points. I did 4,500. Rob had his own order, and he had one client, 5,100 volume points, supervisor my first 3.5 weeks. So for me, it was never I couldn't do it because I had already seen people do it. And I think I've always been the kind of person that said, I don't really care what people say about me or what people think about me. I've been laughed at my entire life. I might as well have them laugh at me while I'm doing something positive. Because a lot of those people now are calling me about plans and probably on the team. So, for me, I didn't really care because I knew what the bigger picture was. I knew that I saw that I went to this event, which was Runyon Canyon. If you guys know anything about California, I went to Runyon Canyon. And out there that day, I got to meet Style Bell, Brian Holyfield, Darren Jones, Super Mario, Chidori Leon, which is like you guys know Chidori, and a bunch of other people who are like famous in the Herbalife world. They were all there at the same day. And I was hearing the stories about, Brian Holyfield getting ready to retire his mom with Herbalife and Darren Jones being homeless. Like I heard all those stories at one time. And I think Style's story stuck out to me the most, and only because of he was living the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live. And he was doing it for his mom, who's no longer here. Like he was doing it in her name. And I just related to him just the most because, he always kept that positive attitude throughout the initial story. So guess what I did at the beginning of my journey? I got goals. And I asked my sponsor, I said, how long did it take you to get to world team? I didn't think about it, the supervisor. Guys, mind you, at this time, like the volume was crazy. If you logged into Team Urban Heroes and you seen Garen post top volume, the top 100 people had over 5,000 volume points. If you did your 2,500, you were probably like number 390 something. Like you were probably way down on the list. And the top 20 had over 10,000 volume points. So that was a lot of people that were doing a bunch of volume. So I came in, and I think the most beautiful thing is I didn't come in and get baby steps. I didn't have anybody hold my hand. You guys know Super. You guys know that he's like the father. I always say this. He's like the father that throws you in the water and tells you to learn how to swim. And that's how he was. I'll call him, and he wouldn't even give me an answer. He would tell me either myherbalife.com or 866-866-4744. Some of y'all will get mad and quit the business if I told y'all that. But I guess he's like, listen, you said you wanted to do it, so figure it out. And for me, like it took me one time for him to say that to me, and I've never called him in 4 years. I've never asked him a question about Herbalife again. Like we've had big business conversations, but when it comes to about how you do this, it was never. I never called him. And I remember calling Garen too. I was like, shoot, let me call Garen. Garen seems to be a lot nicer than Super. So I called him, and and I was talking to him. He said, myherbalife.com, change your mindset, change your life. And I was like, so this is the answer for everything. So at that point in time, I didn't ask nobody any questions again. I started to make mistakes. This is the one thing that I'll tell you guys. You have to be willing to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Because I was ordering people Ready Aloe because it was cheaper. Trying to get people on plans. I was ordering people personalized protein because it was cheaper. They was like, the shakes taste horrible. And I'm going to tell you guys, what I bought the Ready Aloe too. And I'm like, no, this is really garbage. Like, it don't taste like nothing. And they was like, oh, because you didn't get the concentrate, because you was trying to be cheap. And so I remember that was my initial first steps. I had refunds my first couple of months. It was horrible. I remember I got a refund. It was $290. And if you don't know anything about refunds, you got to pay the whole thing. You don't pay your discount level. You don't pay the $100 and whatever $20. You pay the whole $290. Is out of your pocket, and then Herbalife ships you the products like I need the products. So now I got these extra products, and I'm out of $300. So I went through all of those things first, but I was willing to go through it, and it never held me back. So first 3 months of the business, I hit World Team. My third month of the business, and 6 months in the business, I was active World Team. And what this was a result of, it was a result of me always showing up. Some of us don't show up to events, and you guys hear it all the time. Our STS, mind you, our Saturday school was an hour and a half drive, and we were making that drive every Saturday. Our STS was an hour and a half. Every Saturday that we had an STS, I was there. It was never Super had to ask me if I was coming. I told him I wanted to do the business, so that's a part of it. It's kind of goes hand in hand. I'll tell you right now, if you're anybody who says you want to do the business and you don't show up to events, you don't want to do the business. You want to just be a fire preferred member, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't want to do the things that they actually ask us to do as distributors, then you don't want to be a distributor. If you don't want to wear your button, like some of y'all don't wear the button when y'all go out to the club. I be in the club with my button on. And guess what? I've gotten clients in the club. I've gotten people interested. Why? Because this weird guy wearing his button in the club. I had somebody try to take my button off and wear it. I was like, well, unless you sign this up to get this 10Y0 number, you better get my button back. And so I had these things happen, but I was willing to wear my button any and everywhere. And I'll tell you guys about my first event, because I know some people are like, they're always leery on having money to go to events. I came into the business and I wasn't a supervisor yet, so I couldn't go to the LEW. So my first major event was October. It was at the time, it was the last October extravaganza. So it was the last time they had it in October. It was in Las Vegas. And this is probably what was like the turning point of my event. First and foremost, they had gold VIP was the highest to qualify for. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just know I was getting a whole bunch of people healthy, and I was building a team. And I qualified for gold VIP, but I was not going to go to extravaganza. Why? Because my birthday is September 24th. Extravaganza was the first weekend of October, and we had already had plans to go to Vegas. So I went and spent all my money in Vegas on my birthday. So I didn't have any money when I came back, and I was telling me and McKinley that I was not going to go. We had Saturday school, and she was like, they were like, you have your ticket yet? I'm like, nah. And I was lying, like, because I didn't want anybody to know I ain't had no money. I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to be able to go. I got to work. I was having all the excuses in the world, right? And you know what she did? She took my phone, pulled up the ticket, and placed the order for me and said, here, put in your card information. And I'll never forget it. Like, she pretty much punked me into going to the event. And I couldn't say I ain't had the money because she had already pulled it up, and I had already told her that I had the money. So luckily, I just got a client that day, so I had just enough for my ticket. And when she placed the order, I had that internal sweat, like, I only got like $5 right now. I only got like $5 left. So obviously, I had to try and get a little bit of money after that. But I was forced to go to the event, and it was a week before extravaganza, right? So I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have money to pay for a ride to get there. I didn't know how I was going to do any of that. But guess what? They said, listen, just show up, get to the spot, everything else works itself out. And I remember hearing Style Bell's story about him sleeping on the floor of one of his like teammates' room in order for him to attend his first event. So I was like, you know what? I'm trusting in this process. Listen, y'all, I told myself when I signed up, I'm giving myself 5 years to be a success in their life, no matter what. No matter if I have 1 million returns and no matter, what happens, I'm giving myself 5 years of all out effort. And I'm never going to steer from the plan. I'm just going to go out and do this. So when things like that came up, I said, you know what? I just have to make a way. So I lied a lot. I was lying a lot. And I ain't going to lie. I lied a lot. So I told one of my friends who was driving, and I was like, oh, I'll give you the money for, on gas if you help me get there. And so when she came up to me and she asked me if I had the money for gas, I was like, oh, my PayPal card isn't working right now. I'll give it to you when we get to Vegas. Lying. It was working fine. There wasn't no money in there. So, we were on our way to Vegas. It's a 4-hour drive, and I was working so hard. So I ended up getting, enough money to pay for gas. But when we got there, man, y'all know how hotels in Vegas work. When you go, they charge you the whole thing when you get there. It's not on checkout. They charge you now. Hotels charge you when you get there, the whole thing. So I was hoping that I had a few more days to get a couple of those pending transactions to go through so I had enough money. And I didn't. And she was looking at me like, okay, that's $387. I'm like, my PayPal card don't work. The card don't work. Card wasn't working all weekend. And luckily it was a friend. So she was like, okay, I'll give you till tomorrow. So here I am trying to find money, and I didn't have the money the next day. So she kicked me out of the room. And guess what? I'm at extravaganza with no room. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. I could have went home. I could have tripped out. I was like, you know what? I went to the lobby where they have all these casinos, put my bags behind the machines, went to the bathroom, changed my clothes, got ready, went to the event. And this is where I met Terrence. This is where me and Terrence's relationship. You guys know that we're like buddies now. But this is where we met at this event. And he was like, that's Mr. Logan over there. It's all good. No problem. Drink some of this water. But at my first event, so I'm sitting here, and I could have been thinking about where I was going to stay, but I didn't care. I was at the event. I was where I was supposed to be. And luckily, I don't know how the conversation happened, but I ended up telling Terrence I didn't have a room. So him and Nakia let me sleep in their room the next night. So I was sleeping on the couch. This is what I mean by making no excuses. I didn't know how I was going to get to extravaganza. I didn't know where I was going to stay. All I knew is I needed to get there. So I did whatever it took, and I did not have the money because I was not thinking about when I got home not having money for groceries or anything like that. I was just thinking about getting to the spot because that's what they told me leaders do. So I got there. And when on the drive home, I'm going to tell y'all, I learned a lot at extravaganza. I got inspired more than anything. You know, I can't remember the message from the stage. All I can remember is people were telling their income testimonials, and it was so many people that were making $5,000 a month. And I was like, yo, I can do this too. And I remember the conversations with clients was just different. When you're inside of Herbalife and you're inside the bubble and you're inside a positive attitude, when somebody hits you up, the conversation is different. You know, when you start your day with attitude and people talk to you, the conversation is really bad. You have an attitude and you probably make somebody mad versus when you start your day with maybe some personal development or you start your day, you know, on a positive note. And then your conversation with people throughout the entire time is, you know, you have the most amazing conversations because you're in a good mood. So my conversations with clients was a lot better because I was in a better mood. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened on that Sunday on the ride back. Me and Terrence, he tells you the story. We were battling for volume. I got on the bus. My volume was at like 4,000. Got off the bus. My volume was at 7,500 during this 4-hour ride. So I did about 3,200 volume points, made about close to $1,700 on the bus ride. Was able to pay for my room, even though I wasn't staying in there anymore. I shot her the money just in good faith. Like I told you, my car wasn't working. Here's the money. Like, you know, shot her the money. And I, you know, and at that point, my faith was like, it was really when I believed in Herbalife that it worked because I was able to just put it's about us. The success in this is dependent on your attitude. How much do you love what you do? Or is it something that you kind of like a little bit? Because when you love it, when I started to love this company, it started to give me so much back. So you guys know what I did when I got back home? I put in my notice to quit my job. I was only working 12 hours a week anyway. So if you have a good job, keep it. I don't recommend doing that because it was a lot of work and I was doing like really, really high volume and I was only getting 12 hours. So it didn't make sense for me to stay at my job. So I quit my job and that was in October. And in December we did active world team. So it was me and my team really pushing. And then January we went backwards. And I'll tell you guys why we went backwards. You know, it's 10,000 volume points to hit active world team. But in January, we did 7,000. And I got a call from Garen Jones. And I thought he was calling me to congratulate me on hitting active world team. And he was calling me to ask me why my team went backwards. He's like, why did your organization go backwards? And I was making all the excuses in the world. He's like, listen, the people in your organization only do what you do. So if you're not paying them any mind and if you're not caring about people and all you care about is changing pins and you don't care about people, people won't care about you. And they won't care about you in growing up in the business and they won't care about you going up the marketing plan. They'll be selfish just like you're being selfish. Like he was telling me it was on FaceTime. And here I'm sitting here listening to somebody that I barely know telling me I'm selfish, telling me that the people that were in my business were doing what they were doing because I wasn't being a good leader and all this stuff. And, you know, for me, I took it on the chin. I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right. I'm not paying my teammates no attention. All these people are just waiting for me to become a better leader. So my organization did 7,000 volume points that month. The next month, we hit our first cut of global expansion team. So we went from 7 to 22,000. And it was because my focus shifted. And this is where the whole thing, We All Lead came from. If y'all ain't know, this is when it was born in our organization. Because I switched the conversation from me to we. So it was about me helping my people, and the focus just shifted. I started caring more about people. So, you know, my organization like did crazy, you know, numbers, but I was still in high production. February of 2014, my highest personal volume, 26,000 volume points. My organization, first cut of global expansion, 22,000 volume points. 48,000 volume points between me and my organization. And it was nothing but a belief in the shortest month of the year. And all I was doing was doing the same thing that was done for me, was having an amazing belief. So this is where I want to stop sharing my story. And this is where I want to tell you guys how to be successful in this business. Because for me, 11 months to global expansion team, it seems like for me that was like a long time. But I know there's people out there who've been in the business for longer than me, and they've been in the business for longer than 2-3 years. You're trying to get to active world team, or you're trying to get to world team, or you're trying to get to supervisor, or you're trying to get to global expansion team. Whatever it is that you're trying to get to, I'm gonna tell you guys, this business is simple. All you have to do is fall in love with this. I tell people, like, listen, I'm doing Herbalife till they stop making Formula Ones. And you don't believe me, like I got the tattoo right there to prove it. It's not going anywhere. Why? You want to know why? Because my roommate lost 30 pounds in his first month. I made $1,100 my first month. I don't need to know nothing else. The business works, the products work, if I work. So a lot of times we blame other things on why we can't have a team. Why is my team not growing? And why I can't attract anybody. Look at your track record. How consistent have you been? I can tell you guys in almost 4 years of this business, I've only missed one event, and that's because I was sick as a dog. On the couch, couldn't get off the couch. Other than that, I made it away. I want you guys to know it was one SCS. I didn't have the money for my ticket. I still went. And I had somebody place an order on the way to STS. It's having unwavering faith. You guys know what that means? If you have unwavering faith in anything, it does not matter the obstacles. Things is going to operate in the vortex is real. I've been telling y'all, I know some of y'all see my status about, I feel like it's 2014 again. I'm back in my vortex, back in my flow. Because I'm just doing instead of thinking about the consequence. Or, you know what? The worst thing that can happen is I can end up back to where I was to start off with. So why not give it your all? I tell people all the time, you'll kill yourself doing 40 hours a week at work, but you won't spend an hour a day working on something that could potentially change your entire life. You'll slave away for somebody else, but you won't even blink an eye to do this, to do something that's proven over and over again to work for people. There's no way that I can watch Super Mario when I came in, go from global expansion team to 15K press team, go from making $4,000 or $5,000 a month to, let's keep it real, mid $30,000, $40,000 a month. I can't watch that and not think it's not possible for me. I can't watch Terrence come in as a chubby doughboy, then get most ripped up dude in Herbalife.
Stop hating.
Hey, listen, I'm giving you love right now, baby. And become one of the most ripped up dudes in Herbalife and leave his job, and now he's the amount of money that he's making more money than me. I know, we talk all the time. I can't watch that and not think it's not possible for me. It's not like working at a corporate job and the CEO is one person. And you ain't never going to be that person because you ain't in the family. You know how it is. It ain't like that. It's like you come in, see the CEO, and the CEO is holding his hand like, come on, I'm waiting for you. Come join me. It's different. You guys want to know why it was easy for me to walk away from my job? I walked away from my job because I went in for an interview and they told me, listen, you're really smart. We love your work ethic, but you just don't look like management material. This is what they told me at my interview. I didn't fit the mold of what they wanted a manager to look like. And I looked at this, I was like, you know what? This is the last time I'm going to let somebody else control how my life goes. Because literally that was about to send me back home. I couldn't survive off 12 hours a week. But then my sponsor comes in and he says, listen, you can have anything in this life that you want if you just work for it. This is the opportunity. You want to know my favorite button in Herbalife? Earn your worth. It's my favorite button. Because if I ask everybody on this call right now, what do you think your value is? What do you think your worth is? Oh, I'm worth $1 million. I'm priceless. I know some of y'all be bougie. I'm priceless. Well, guess what? Prove it. You got a 10Y0 number. Prove it. Prove your worth. Because so many people are hell-bent on just saying and not doing. Everybody thinks that they're the best, and everybody thinks that they're worth $1 million, and everybody thinks that they're priceless, and everybody thinks this until you get the opportunity to prove it. Then you really can see who is about that life. For me, people ask me, how did you get to Global Expansion Team, 11 months, 2.5? And I just felt like I was worth it, but I acted like it too. I did not settle. Y'all want to know, in 2014, I averaged 12,500 volume points the whole year of 2014. Why? Because they told me I had to. Qualified for my first Herbalife vacation in 5 months. Why? Because they told me I could. Got to take my mom to Kona, Hawaii. Her dream vacation, paid for by Herbalife. I came out the pocket $0. And I got to call her. Imagine this, calling your mom like, hey, her birthday's in June, just always around the Herbalife vacation quite conveniently. And it was the 14th, which is the same weekend quite conveniently. And so I told her, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take you somewhere for your birthday. She's like, where we going, son? How much money I need? That's what we think about. That's the first thing that she thinks about. That's the first thing most people think about, how much money I'm going to need. I'm like, listen, it's already booked. You got your room. I got your flight. Just come. She's like, where we going? Hawaii. Son, how much money? Listen, it's already done. I worked hard enough and took care of it for you already. Imagine being able to do that for somebody in your life, whether it's your kids, whether it's, a family member. I know Reggie Abreu, he brings his brother every vacation. Imagine being able to do that. For those of you who got kids, Disney just came up. How hard did you work for it? I'm going to tell you guys, I ain't worked hard enough. Missed it 4,000 volume points, missed Disney. And I'm going to tell you guys, I ain't going to go into the things in life that I had to go through. But just know this. I always think to myself all the time, life is like a video game. Every level gets harder, and you have to be better to beat it. And you're going to meet a boss. They call these people a boss. And now we just can relate them to life mountains. You're going to have a new set of mountains every single level that you want to elevate to. And it's going to be harder to climb every single time. But guess what? If you play the game long enough, you become good enough to beat this level. And then it's not so hard as it seemed before. So right now, the level is what? Millionaire team. Always been kicking my butt for 2 years. I could have stopped. I could have quit. I could have did a lot of things. But I know it's there. It's just a little bit more work. And when we get there, it's going to be like, okay, no problem. All it was I had to become a better person. That's all you got to do in Herbalife. Oh, my gosh. All you got to do in Herbalife to become successful. Become a better person. Get some results and become a better person. Fall in love with the company. And you can become successful. I'm going to tell you guys this. If you love anything in life, is there anything that anybody can tell you negative about it? You love your mom, so those of you, I ain't going to assume that everybody love their mama, but I'm just going to say you love your mama. You ain't going to let anybody talk negative about your mom because you love her, unwavering, even if she did something wrong. That's how I feel about this. Nobody ever says anything negative to me about Herbalife because they can't. I love it too much, and they know that. So if you got people talking negative to you about it, guess what? It's your challenge to see how much you love it and to see if you really want to do it. I went through that. I went through everybody trying to tell me that this was the worst decision I could have made. My mom told me I should not do this. Until I started paying some of her bills. Oh, kill them. Then it was okay then. It's the honest truth. You have to be so committed to the end that everything in between don't matter. The fires that you got to go through, the troubles that you're going to go through, this ain't going to be no walk in the park. President's team ain't easy. Hell, millionaire team ain't easy. Global expansion team ain't easy. Every level, you're going to have to get better. meaning you're going to have to go through something you've never went through before. For me, mine just happened to be I had 2 kids, had twins. That was something different for me. Now I'm responsible for not only myself, but 2 other people. And I took my focus away from the business to be a better father, knowing that being a better father meant that I was probably supposed to be doing more business. And when I figured that out, everything changed. But just understand that no matter where you are in life, y'all know I just told my mom, this is the last thing I said because I talk forever. But I just told my mom this the other day. I said, Mom, you're a certain age right now. Retirement is like 10 years away. Or at least you have to start preparing for that right now. If you were to retire in 5 years based off what you're doing right now, how would your retirement be? And she looked at me like, man, it would be pretty shitty, wouldn't it? So what do we have to do to make sure that that is not? I told my mom, you need to sign up, be a distributor. You love the products, and what you're doing right now ain't been working. So why not do this together? But you guys want to know why I'm able to say that to her and why she's able to not say anything to me? Because I've put in the work. Because I've shown her that it works. I've taken her on vacation. I put money in her pocket. I've flown her this. I've flown her that. I'm showing you that this works. Now, why don't you come do it with me? How many of you all talk about that to your friends? I had so many friends up this weekend with just a renowned faith. Why not do this together? Why slave away, putting no money in savings, creating no kind of lifestyle? You get to God forbid, anything happens to my grandma, but like my grandma retired with nothing. She retired on a fixed income. What kind of life is that to live? If you have the option to opt out. How many people right now got a cold retirement plan set up? My retirement plan is 10Y0487027. Because I know I can stuff that with a lot. But other than that, like, what am I going to do? If I'd have worked that target, I probably would have worked that target. Man, I go back and see the same people working there that didn't pay the same amount of money that I did 4 years ago with no progress. And they're looking at me like, dang, life is good. I told y'all, the lady that said, listen, life must be good. I said, listen, lady, life is what you make it. And I just chose to make mine the best I can possibly make it. So my advice to you all, last 5 minutes, I'm done talking because my mouth is dry and I need some aloe. But I'm just here to tell you all, like, listen, I'm not better than nobody. I wasn't born with a better set of skills. I'm not genetically, I'm not like I was not into fitness my whole life. I didn't look like it. I gained 40 pounds in the last 4 years. I told myself I wanted to. But before that, I didn't look like I worked out. I'm no different than anybody. I just wanted more. And I'm willing to tell people, like, I don't care what nobody thinks. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And that's it. I just want, like, you can't be mad at somebody who wants it more to you. And that's it. That's the only difference between me and everybody on these boxes. Except for Terrence. He wanted more than me, obviously. But he can have, that's okay. He's my friend. And that's why I keep him around. But you gotta just want it more. And you gotta be willing to get slapped 10 times to make 11 steps. So, I just wanted to share with you all my philosophy. In the beginning journey for me was nothing more but a belief. And I just want more than anything just to share with you guys how passionate I am about this and how excited I am that soon to be millionaire team member. But I think the most exciting thing to me is the people in my organization who are having their lives being changed. I didn't have that before. Being directly responsible for people's lives change is like the most mind-boggling thing to me. So that's my story. And that's all I, want to share with you guys. I got to drink some of this aloe because if you see my status too, I took 2 Thermobonds today and Herbalife really works well. So I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Thank you, Kylie and Orlando, for allowing me to come on here and share with everybody. So thanks.
Woo! Okay. For one, before we close out this call, we appreciate you, Cuzzo. We appreciate you, Steven. This is what's crazy. So he's our mentor, my cousin. We get to hear Steven literally every day, even if we don't want to or want to. And I literally, it's crazy. Like, I get to get mentored from every day, and I still have I got 3 pages of new notes, that is. So this is a team effort. Herbalife is team Herbalife. So I'm not gonna take up the rest of this call. What we're gonna do is we usually ask for questions, but the call, we want to value everybody's time. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna first, for only 5 seconds, I'm gonna open up the line. I'm gonna ask for some takeaways, real quick. Just give us takeaways. What nuggets that hit you guys the most? And I'm gonna give you 5 seconds, and we're gonna move on. So starting right now, 5.
Beep.
Boom.
Deja.
Yes.
Steven. Well, that was a lot of motivation, and the takeaway I got was anything is possible. Literally.
Awesome. Thank you, Deja. Let's take another one. Give us a takeaway that impacted you tonight.
Retirement plan. Zero.
Yes. Thank you. Hero.
Right here, Jerron. Yeah, man. Shoot, the vortex. Having more understanding what that really looks like, falling into your vortex. That he put that in very good perspective.
Awesome. Thank you, Jerron. It's Jerron, right? I'm saying it correctly? Awesome. Appreciate that. Who else?
Passion and drive and transparency and no matter what attitude.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Fields. I know there's more. If y'all want me to start sharing mine.
Oh, I got one. Jay over here. Basically, like what he said, this business is easy. We make it seem like it's hard, but it's not. It's easy. It's just simple. And another thing is, he said, life is what you make it. So basically, what I'm saying is, this is how you make it. Because life is always going to throw its curveballs and everything, but it depends on how you take it. So I like that. So that's all.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. Let's take 2 more.
I'll go.
I have one.
Go, Kayla.
Go ahead, Kayla.
Just you have to enroll people in the vision. Do it first. You have to show people what's possible before they decide to do it with you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for sure. Lead by example. Last but not least, who wants to end it off?
It's Maisha.
Maisha.
The fact that he didn't let other people, outsiders, get into his head about Herbalife because he knew what was possible. He knew that his sponsor went from get to 15. He knew that his roommate lost 30 pounds in a month. Like, just knowing and not letting outside negativity affect him.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for that. Lastly, I guess I just want to share mine. It is 10 o'clock Central here. The video game one really hit me at the end. That just to think of it that way, and it just reminds me of what I always tell myself is for every level there's a devil. So the video game analogy was awesome, and it brought that right back to my mind. It's crazy because we're related, so like we like almost do the same stuff. He just knows how to say stuff better, but I'm getting better, so I'm coming for you. I'm gonna replace that pen. We're gonna replace that pen, and you're gonna be Mill. So that's gonna happen. I put it out there in the air. First cut Mill team coming up. Do you got anything else?
That everyone summed it up, and the main thing is just never giving up. That's the main thing with this company. So we appreciate that, Stephen.
Yes, thank you, Cuzzo. For everybody else, what we're gonna do is unmute the line so everybody can say goodnight. We appreciate everybody's time for coming on the call and being able to share our team nuggets. So without further ado, you guys have a great night. Unmute. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.